money at school. I moved back to my grandparents, drank there, worked full time there, did Four Locos, whatever. That was terrible. One time I did 3.5 and puked and woke up the next morning and I didn't even know I puked. Well, I was at my grandparents' house. That was pretty shitty. And then I joined the Army, which wasn't a bad deal. You know, it was a really good experience for me. But that's when my drinking really started to take its toll on me. I started getting the withdrawal symptoms of being out there, and showing up to formation wasted all the time. Pretty risky behaviors. Doing drugs, and ended up getting kicked out for drugs in the Army. After the Army, I got out, lived with my girlfriend. I had an ex-girlfriend who I'd been with for about 2.5 to 3 years at the time. Lived with her for about a year. I was still drinking really bad. My symptoms were still there from the Army. And my relationship with her was starting to crumble. So then we got out of that. I got out of that situation. It was highly suggested to me to go to rehab, so therefore I did. I went to rehab for about 2 months, and that led me to December 8th, which was when I got out of rehab. I had about 2 months of sobriety. I moved into a place up here called Nathan's House, which Kyle was a part of, and started working on figuring out what the hell I was going to do next. So then after figuring out what I wanted to do next and acquiring my CDL, I got my CDL, and then I moved out on good terms with Nathan's House, and the day I moved out, I got pretty drunk, and it wasn't my happiest moment, but it happened. And for the next 2 to 3, 4 months, I was able to maintain a pretty drunk life, and was able to get into my own apartment, and things just got worse as I kept moving up and getting more money out of my job. After that, one day after work, I thought it'd be a good idea to drink 4 Natty Daddies, and by that time I had completely switched from liquor to beer, and thought it'd be a good idea to drive 2 hours to go see a girl on 4 beers, and that was a terrible decision. Which
4 Natty Daddies is not 4 beers.
It's not 4 beers, and it's they said two eyewitnesses on my police report were saying that I was swerving going over the fog lane. Passed out behind the wheel before the bridge somewhere, and I ended up getting picked up for an OWI, and it was just a nightmare and a death sentence for a CDL holder. And so, because I left on good terms the last time I was here, I got gracefully accepted back in, and I'm very happy and grateful that I'm back here with opening up a little more and getting a little more experience, strength, and hope from fellow alcoholics and drug addicts here at the house, and I'm taking it in strides.
Well, Parker, I'm going to thank you for sharing your story on behalf of all the listeners. I think that we can both say that we're, after that, sharing our stories, I don't think we're going to get that in-depth to it again, probably.
No, this was strictly an intro.
That was strictly an intro. This is going to be more of a comedy-based segment.
Fucking boring.
Yeah, nobody wants to hear about war stories, It's about living currently and having fun, I would say.
That's right.
So, actually, where we're recording this podcast is up in the TV bunk bedroom, and
yep, we're in the bunker.
I was thinking that we could maybe discuss our little squad we got going. Me, you, and Chris. We're missing one of our buddies, Chris, who usually comes in.
Yeah, we are missing.
He's
spiritually
upset
missing
with
him.
me because I joined his fantasy football league. He says that I don't really care about football, so that I shouldn't be allowed. What do you think about that?
Well, Chris's word holds a lot of weight around here. If you just listen to what the man has to say, maybe you'll find a silver lining in what there is. You're more of a hockey guy, Red Wings or Eastern or.
I'm an Eastern Michigan football fan.
You're an Eastern Michigan guy.
Yeah.
So maybe he's just thinking that because you played hockey in college that you just not qualified to play in the big leagues with the big dogs. I don't know what he's thinking.
Actually, I believe that I won today in the 217 recovery fantasy football league. So the team I took over was 0-2, and now I'm 1-2.
Ooh.
I wouldn't doubt it if I just went on a run and won out the rest of the season in the league.
Yeah, there's a very real possibility of that, and anyone else who's partaking in that might want to be on the lookout for this young man. He's a pretty dangerous guy. Well, we are very happy to be here today, and this is going to try to make this a comedy-oriented podcast as much as possible. But let's talk about chewing tobacco, Kyle.
What about it?
You know what about it. Tell me your flavors. Tell me what you do.
I usually use Grizzly Wintergreen pouches or long cut, but I'm not bragging about that,
Yeah, that's a pretty cool dip to use.
Yeah, it's I'd say Grizzly's probably the manly chew. It's not like the Wimp chew like Skull.
Skull's not wimpy.
And it's
Skull
not the
Peach is really good.
not the redneck like Copenhagen. But it's not as sophisticated as it is Snus. So
yeah. Well, aren't you anti-vape?
Anti-vape.
I thought you were. I think you brought that up to me before. That you're anti-vape guy.
I wouldn't say that I'm anti-vape. I'm not pro-vape. I don't really. I didn't know how to do any vape tricks, and so I always got made fun of because I wasn't blowing fat clouds, and I can't blow fat clouds and look cool doing it. So I guess maybe I am anti-vape. I think that our governor is doing some great things, in trying to ban fruity flavors. I think that it is going to kill all of our children. Pretty soon there's going to be no children under the age of 18 if they keep smoking all that fruity vape flavor.
When they start smoking the Fruity Loops, there's a price to be paid.
Yeah. You know what? They brought it on themselves, choosing to vape nicotine is a choice.
Vaping is, that's right.
Those people that can't stop, vaping that fruity nicotine, it's a moral failure on their part,
Yes,
they deserve every negative consequence that comes to them.
Yes, they do. Oh, man. So, just roll with me here. How do you feel about God?
Me and God have a good understanding. We work off each other, It's
you guys are collaborators.
We're a team,
Yeah.
We're a team, and I don't know if I have a lot more to really say on that subject. It's kind of a deep question that I'm not prepared to answer straight up.
Just answer it lightly as you can.
Yeah. I do have a relationship with God that I'm looking to work on growing. Definitely.
Now, is your God a doornail?
A door what?
A doornail or a doorknob?
No, he's not.
Thumbtack, pencil, perhaps?
No, none of those.
A hoodie.
He's not
Nike hoodie?
Not a school supply. Not a consumer good either.
No?
No.
A toilet, perhaps?
Toilet. No, my God, is not a toilet.
You've heard of that, though?
No.
You've never heard of someone picking an inanimate object for...
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I don't... I'm probably the least consumeristic person you'd ever meet. I don't care about any possessions, really. So,
you don't?
No. Other than my iPhone.
Oh.
And my... I have an Xbox. at home, but I couldn't
What
bring
kind?
it because I live in a sober living home.
What kind of Xbox?
Xbox One. You know, I used to get up
So-
and play Fortnite and
Oh, Fortnite.
yep, Fortnite.
It's a pretty good recovery game.
Yeah, I thought so too, but you know, Jason wouldn't let me bring it.
You know, maybe we should talk about that with him next time we see him.
Yeah, Jason.
Get gaming in here. Get a Wii, perhaps.
No, cause see, if I'm gonna play a game, I want to play it by myself. I don't want anybody else to play it with me.
Yeah, I want to isolate too. Yeah, I personally like Rainbow Six Siege.
I like to get on Fortnite and you know, if I'm having a bad day, I like to get on there and yell at somebody and take my anger out on them.
Yeah,
Somebody that I don't know.
someone like
it's a-
14 years old, or yell at some children.
Yeah, you know.
It's an easy way to let it loose, I'd say.
Yeah. I would. I don't know. I was thinking. I saw a meme. It's on a popular recovery Facebook meme website, and every day they would post like a new AA character of the day, and it would like say a couple different stereotypes about this person and stuff. I don't know if you could maybe discuss who somebody like not by name, but like the favorite like character you have at AA, like the person that always.
Oh, my favorite character?
Yeah,
I have plenty
like-
of
like-
favorite characters. There's this guy that comes into Alcoholics Anonymous, and it's just a real mind blow to hear him speak, because it sounds so unplanned that it actually
Makes
has
sense.
value.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
you have to kind of, like, if I had a piece of paper at the time this guy said anything, I'd have a gold mine worth of information, because I'd probably have the world's problems solved, and I wouldn't have to
My
be out there.
one of my favorite characters in AA is the constantly late person. The
Yeah.
person that doesn't ever know when the meeting starts. They always come in about 10 minutes late, and they always make sure they apologize. You know, like everybody else was like really concerned that they were late.
I like the guys that show up 5 minutes before the meeting ends.
Well, you know,
it's 8 o'clock.
well, I mean, if we get back on AA cliches, the only meeting you're late for is your first one. So
That's right. That's a good one, Kyle. You come up with that yourself?
No, I wish I could take
It's
credit for it.
Pretty
but,
good. It's
yeah.
a good one, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was thinking about this because somebody at the AA group that I go to usually says this when we're saying the Serenity or the Lord's Prayer at the end. Do you think that we're living in a simulation?
I've heard, that's a good one.
Like
We probably
that
are,
we're
but
just
we're
living
not.
in some computer program or simulation? Like, is my higher power Jeff Bezos?
We're probably in some RuneScape campaign, and we're just,
Well-
they're getting leveled up.
Like, I feel like you could get worried and worked up about whether or not you're living in a simulation. Like, if you try to examine the evidence, but even if you are, you would never know. So it really doesn't change that much.
I feel like if you're doing all the right things, you can see the simulation happen before your eyes.
Yeah, the
I've heard
glitch
that.
in the
I've heard
code.
that one. Yeah. You watch everything fall into play when you do someone's laundry or something, and I've heard of that one.
Yeah, if you fold someone's laundry, you do a nice thing. That's what they always say. There's a suggestion, do something nice for someone and don't say anything about it. I feel like that's one of the hardest things in the world.
Yeah.
Because whenever I do something really nice that nobody asks about, I always end up telling someone.
I try, because I do too, and I really try not to, and sometimes it is hard. Like the other day when well, never mind.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I did a nice thing for someone in this room last week, and for some reason, I got angry that he didn't thank me.
Yeah.
That's my problem, not theirs. I'm sitting in this chair where I'm sitting right now, looking over at him as he sees this good deed was done for him, and I'm just sitting over here looking smirking, waiting for him to pay tribute and acknowledge that I did something good for him, and it didn't come.
You wanted to hear, Kyle, you're You're a
Hey,
gosh dang
Kyle, did you do this? Thank you.
helper, dude.
Yeah, you know.
You make miracles happen around here.
Yeah, miracle man.
Miracle maker, yeah.
That's what.
You make some good things happen, man.